We're looking at East Asia after World War II, and we're going to start by looking at Japan. So, after World War II, Japan was actually occupied by the United States. They're going to leave troops there until about 1952, and they're going to help Japan kind of transition after the war. And so, after the war, Japan is going to create a new constitution. And this new constitution created a Western style democracy. It also increased rights for women, including giving women the right to vote. It limited the size of their military, so they weren't allowed to have any kind of massive military force after World War II. It also extended a lot of freedoms, not just to women, but also to the lower classes as well. But at the same time, it was also important that they incorporate Japanese traditions into this new constitution as well. And so they did. So, for example, ideas of filial piety that were important to Japan, respect for one's elders and parents, that was incorporated into their new constitution as well. Overall, this process of transitioning after World War II was extremely successful. They created a multi-party system. However, most of the emphasis on this one-party system was dominated by the Liberal Democratic Party, and they're going to hold power all the way into the 1990s. However, even though they were the dominant political party, they were very good at working with the other political influences in Japan, and it's created kind of a political unity in Japan following World War II. Another big success of Japan following the war was their economic growth. And so one of the chief reasons for their successful economic growth was the cooperation with the government. So the government actively worked to inspire this economic growth, and they are going to help support businesses throughout Japan. And they're going to focus on things like the automobile industry and technologies. And again, they were extremely successful here as well. It was known as an economic miracle, the speed at which they recovered after World War II. And by the 1960s and through the 1970s, Japan became one of the top 3 economies in the entire world. And the reasons for this economic growth were the strong government support, also education. Their education system, especially focused on engineering with really high standards, as well as money. Since they weren't allowed to spend massive amounts of money on their military, a lot of that money went to support technologies instead.